All right. So, good afternoon, good evening, good morning, maybe, depending on where you are. Welcome to another National Geographic Learning webinar. Now, this webinar is a little bit special. This is our 100th webinar that we have done in Asia for our Asia audience and other parts of the world as well, like Irina in Ukraine. Welcome. Or John in the Philippines, hello. That we've been doing these since the middle of 2020, excuse me. And so, yeah, this is our 100th webinar. So, wow, that's a bit of a milestone. But welcome, everybody. If you don't know me, my name is Andrew. I'm a senior academic consultant at National Geographic Learning. My job is to help teachers like yourselves with our learning programs. And today what we're going to do is we're going to look at a model lesson. So I'm going to go through activities out of the student book, the workbook, and some other activities out of the teacher's book that are not part of the lesson materials per se. And it's from Our World Level 2, okay? So Our World is a kind of a general English program for younger learners, ages kind of, grade 1 to grade 6, 6 to 12 years old. Level 2 would be 7 to 8-year-old, and they'd still be A1 learners. The language level is still quite low, okay? So you will see that as we go through today. But we're going to be dealing with the topic of fun in the sun. And so we want to encourage our learners through this kind of lesson to do things outside. And that's what we're trying to do. Have some authentic, good, real fun with people outdoors. Don't be inside stuck on a screen. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch my screen over to our classroom presentation tool. This is the tool that comes with the program to help you deliver it to your students more effectively, okay? And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of slip into teacher mode here. I'll be the teacher, you'll be the students, and you can reply to questions in the chat box and things as we go. And I will ask you a few of your thoughts and your ideas about activities as we go as well, okay? So teacher mode on and away we go. So hello, everyone. Now, today, we're going to do fun in the sun. But before we do this, I want to go back. Let's go back and look at Unit 1. Do you remember Unit 1? What did we do in Unit 1? Okay, we did words like these ones you can see on the screen here, okay? So let's just zoom into these 4 words here on the left side, okay? So who remembers this first word? What's that one? Reading, right? Reading, okay? Counting, coloring, and listening. Okay, so can you count? Can you count? Can you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? Can you count? Yes or no? In the chat box, you're my students. Okay, I think you can, right? Yes, very good. So what can I say about this boy in this picture? Right? Do I say he is count? No, I don't, right? What do I say? What do I say? I don't say he is count. What do I say? He is, good job, Elaine. He is counting, right? He is counting, okay? So I can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He is counting. He is doing it, right? He is doing it, okay? What about the girl? What is she doing? She is reading. Very good. She is reading. Very good. And so we're reviewing all of these words, and the reason we're reviewing them is today because we're going to use present continuous tense, okay? So I want to review that with my students before we start. Okay, now I'm going to jump back to Unit 3. Now we've done a little review, and we'll look at this picture. So if I just zoom in a little bit here, here we go. Okay, so let's see. Can you count how many boys are there? These are all boys. How many boys are there? Can you count? 6 boys. Very good. Now, there are 6 boys here. What is behind them? What is this? What is behind them? What is that? It's water. Yeah, a waterfall, maybe. Yeah, that's right. Maybe a waterfall. Yeah, but definitely lots of water. Is it rain? Is it rain? No, I don't think so. How do you know? How do you know it's not rain? If it was rain like that, I think we'd be in trouble, right? Okay, we can see the boys are in the sun. The sun is shining on the boys. Usually, the rain is when it is cloudy, right? Not when it is sunny, yeah? Okay, and yeah, maybe too heavy. But I want my students, even if their language is limited, I want them to think about what's in the picture, right? What's another question you could ask? But just note, at the moment, I don't want to do the little blue box in the corner. But what's another question you might ask about this picture to your students? What's another question you might ask? Hello, Zibaniso? What's in their hands? Yeah, or what do they have? Yeah, we can use the grammar that we've learned in an earlier unit, perhaps. Yeah. So we could say they have, some students might say a cup, and that's okay. We could say they have a bucket. That's cool. Yeah, very good. Maybe we can talk about their clothes. What would you say about their clothes? Yeah, now Maria, you said, what do you think they're doing? Now, actually, that's the topic of today, so I will avoid that question for now. Yeah, maybe, yeah, as Zibaniso says, we could talk about their clothes. They are in shorts. What are they wearing? Good. Yeah, very good, right? Even we could say, are they wearing a hat? Are they wearing a jacket? We could ask those kinds of questions, right? And get the students to look and respond. And then they're reviewing vocab and they're reviewing some grammar, okay? Very good. Okay. So we have some boys' hand. Now, up in the corner here, it says, look at the children. The children are. Now, there are three words here. Word number one is swimming. Okay. Swimming. Okay. Good. Word number two is running. Okay. Running. Okay. Word number three is jumping. Jumping. Okay. So maybe you can do with me, but then if you look, I can say, are they swimming? Are they swimming? Are they swimming? No, I don't think they are, right? Are they running? Are they running? No. Are they jumping? Are they jumping? Yes, they are jumping. Look at this boy here on the right here. Wow, he is jumping so high. Very good. And I'm using a lot of gestures with my learners because the learners at this stage, they're only A1 level English, so they need slow, repeatable language, lots of gestures to help them understand, right? So he jumps high, right? Things like this. Okay, very good. Now, let's see, what will we learn today? Do you know Anna and Freddie? Do you know Anna and Freddie? My students would. My students would. Do you know Anna and Freddie? If you don't know Anna and Freddie, let's see them in this video. Okay, September, you will soon meet Anna and Freddie. Here they are. Okay, so let's watch a little video about what we're going to learn today. Here we go.
Hello, everyone. Hi, Freddie.
Hi, Anna.
Freddie, look at this. It's a jump rope.
Oh, wow! A jump rope!
Freddie, do you know what we're going to learn today?
Hmm.
Do you?
I know! We're going to talk about games and fun things to do!
That's right. Today, we'll talk about games we like to play. We'll learn words that we can use to talk about games and other things we like to do. We'll learn how to ask and answer questions about things we like or don't like. I'll sing a song about games we like and don't like. And I'll tell a story. The story is called The Ant and the Grasshopper.
Wow, Anna, that sounds like fun!
It does. Okay, let's begin.
Okay, does that sound like fun? Are you ready to learn? So here, I sometimes point to the students. This is what we will learn, right? What I like to do outside, not inside. No inside, no phones, no tablets, not today, right? What I do on different days. What days are there? Can you tell me the days? What day is today? What day is today? Today is, what day is today? Wednesday. Good job, Elaine. What day is tomorrow? What day is tomorrow? What day is tomorrow? Thursday. Good job. And what day was yesterday? What day was yesterday? Yesterday was Tuesday. Very good. And when I'm teaching, I often use these actions for like in the future and in the past, and that helps me when I'm teaching tenses later on, right? Being consistent with these really, really helps. Okay, very good. Now, what are the 2 days when you don't have school? What are the 2 days when you don't have school? What days are those days? Yeah, the weekend, but what days? What days are they? Good job, September. Saturday and Sunday. Very good. Nice job. Okay. And we're going to talk about what you like, right? What things you like. Very good. So first, let's learn some new words. So we're going to look at the vocabulary. We have lots of new words here. Let's just look at some, okay? So up here we have the audio, and Anna and Freddie can introduce, and I'll just show you the beginning of this real quick.
Okay, let's learn words that will help us talk about things we like to do. Ready? Basketball.
Okay, and we'll go through the vocabulary here, but I'm not going to play the whole video, right? So right now, let's see. We've got some words like jump rope, and we've got a word like play basketball, play a game. So this is not just not basketball, it's play basketball. Ah, okay. So let's see, jump rope. So everybody go jump rope, right? Jump rope. Okay, we're doing jump rope, okay? Up here, play basketball. Okay, do. Play basketball, okay? Or this one, play a game. What is this game? Do you know the name of this game? What is this game? What is this game here? Whoops, I'm getting extra text boxes, which I don't want. What game is that? Hopscotch. Yeah, now the students may not know it in English, and they may know it by a different name in their local language as well. That's okay, it doesn't matter, right? But it's just to get them used to the idea of, hey, this is a game maybe I know, okay? Very good, okay, very good. So now, what we will do is we're going to practice the words, okay? So what I would do before, I'm always scaffolding what I do with my learners. So first, let's practice using these words a lot so the students can say them quite well, okay? So if I do jump rope, for example, right? I'm going to use an action like jump rope, okay? Jump rope. I'm also going to use some rhythm when I do this. So I might be like jump rope, jump rope, jump rope, okay? Or maybe I'm doing the basketball one, right? It might be like play basketball, play basketball, play basketball, okay? Something like this. So I can use a visual like this. I can use an action, and I can use some rhythm to help me introduce the vocabulary, right? And that's one way to do it. Now, in the chat box, tell me, what do you do when you're teaching vocabulary to younger learners? What sort of things do you do to teach them the new words and to give them the first basic practice with those words? What things do you do? So Lily shows pictures. Yeah, so we've got lots of real pictures in here of kids doing these things, right? Miming, says Hong. Yep, so we can do a lot of that, right? What else? Mime, yep, good. What else do we do? Flashcards, yeah, we can play a lot of flashcard games, right, with the kids. Video, yeah, and that's why we have things like Anna and Freddie. Yeah, we can do some drawing, good, yeah. Repeat several times and show the cards. Yeah, so that's one of the points, Tamar, is we want to have a lot of repetition so our students get good at it at a basic level before we ask them to do something more advanced, right? Yeah, so those are all good ideas, okay? Now, once I've got my students and they're able to basically say the words, okay, I'm going to say, right, we're going to play a little game. And this little game, you can see the instruction here, listen, point, and say. Okay, so I'm going to say one of these words. Let me zoom out a little. There's 9 words here, and you can see I put a number next to them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so normally in class you would point, but here today you can just tell me the number. Okay, so if I say play a game, you will write 2. Okay, you will type 2. Okay, so let's try it. Can you do this? So if I say play soccer, which one? Play soccer. Good job. Number 5, fly a kite. Which one? Fly a kite. Number 9, very good. One more, rollerblade. Rollerblade. Number 4, good job. Okay. Number 7 is skateboard, Elaine. That's okay, right? Number 4 is rollerblade. Okay. Now, once my students can identify the words, now I want to turn it around so that they're producing. Okay, so I'm setting them up for another activity. Okay, so let me do it the other way this time. I will tell you the number, which is like me pointing, and then you tell me what word it is. Okay, so if I say number 3, what is that one? Number 3. What's number 3? Ride a bike. Good job. Okay, what's number 6? What's number 6? Number 6. Play baseball. Yeah, very good. Okay. Oh, not basketball, baseball. There we go. Good job. And so this is, and as is happening right now, maybe a couple of you are doing it on purpose, and that's cool because it's a good example, right? But if the students are a little confused or getting it wrong, this is where we want to clear up these little miscommunications. And it's okay for students to make mistakes, right? We want to encourage them to be getting it right. And we do that through repetition and monitoring and assisting them, right, as they go along. So this is the sort of thing we do. Now, once I've done that with you and me as a class, I'm going to say to you, right, it's your turn. So what I want you to do is I want you to get into pairs, okay? And person 1 is going to say, what's this? And the other person's going to say, play a game, or skateboard, or play hide and seek, okay? And so I'm going to get you to do it in pairs. Is everybody okay? And if the students need, I will model it, right? I will take 1 or 2 of my students and we will show them what to do, okay? And then after that, I will turn on the timer here and I will say, okay, you have 1 minute to play the game. Let's see how many times you can do it in 1 minute. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3, go. Okay, and now the students are doing this in pairs with each other. Okay, now question, while the students are doing it in pairs, what should I be doing as the teacher? What should I be doing? What things should I be doing as a teacher? I know you're typing, it's okay. You have 30 seconds. Yeah, go around. Illy, you need to switch your chat options over. That's okay. Illy said, go around and listen to give feedback later. Yeah. Or as September says, go up to students and just do the activity with them. I do that a lot because, as Zebaniso says, I'm monitoring, but I can monitor them best sometimes when I'm doing it with them. Okay, so I'm definitely looking, I'm definitely watching. Okay, but if I'm doing it with them, then they're getting more practice with me. Okay, sometimes I will say to them, do it 5 times with your friends and 1 time with me. Okay, that's the timer up. So we finished that activity and we'd move on to the next activity. Okay, now before we go to the next activity, okay, we need to listen to Anna and Freddie again. Let's go back to the video for a moment. Oops, I have too many Zoom windows on the road. Let's listen to what Anna says. Okay, let's listen.
Okay, let's learn words that will help us talk about things we like to do. Ready? Basketball. He's playing basketball.
Oh, what did she say? She said, he's playing basketball. Ah, okay. What does this say? What does this say here? For picture number 1, does it say playing basketball? It says play basketball. Huh. Okay. So when we say he or she, or what else can we say? He, she, what are some other words like that we can say? He, she, I, you, they. Very good. Nice one. Good. Okay. So when we say those ones, we can say he is playing or he's playing, right? Or this one, how many boys here? Is it 1 boy or 2 boys for picture number 1? Is it 1 boy or 2 boys? 2 boys. So do we say he or what do we say? We say they. Very good. They're playing basketball. Very good. Okay, so let's see. I'm going to go to my whiteboard. I'm going to change screens. I'm going to go to my whiteboard here. Okay, and here's what we are going to say. Okay, so we're going to say either he's blah, 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 or she's blah, 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 or they're blah, blah, blah. He is a boy, right? Okay, so here's my boy. Okay, she's a girl. Now, my girl always has long hair. Okay, and there is 2, right? So we need 2 people. So we'll have kind of a boy and a girl here. Okay, there we go. Okay, so when we do this one, we can say he's playing basketball, for example. Okay? Or they're playing basketball. Okay? Good. So we need to add ing, right? Let's add it in green here. Let's add this one here. So do I put it playing like that? Actually, that green's not so good, is it? Let's use black. Okay, let's take that away and go playing. They're playing basketball. Okay, now what about this one? Which word do I change? Do I say he's play a gaming? Is that right? He's play a gaming? Does that sound good? No, very good. He's playing a game, right? Very good. Okay, we can go through and mark all the other ones the same, right? We can change this one to riding. I don't worry about the spelling too much, right? Keep going. And then these ones here, maybe this one a little bit special. How do I change this one? What do I do here for rollerblade? How many words is it? It's one word, right? With these ones, it had 2 words. This one had 1, 2, 3 words. This one had 1, 2, 3 words. Which words did we change? We only changed the first word, didn't we? This is one word. We just changed that one word. So we change it to rollerblading, right? Okay. And for play hide and seek, we changed the first word. We changed to playing. So I'm trying to show the students the pattern, right? And after a while, they'll figure it out. Okay. After a while, they'll figure it out. Okay. Very good. Okay. Now, the other one we need is we need the question. So here is a question. What is he doing? Or what is she doing? What are they doing? Okay. Very good. So let's see. What's the question for picture 2? What's the question for picture 2? What do I do here for picture 2? What do I do for picture 2? Very good. Yeah. What is he doing? What is he doing? We do this one, right? Nice job. Okay. If we're doing number 8, what would we say? If it was number 8, what would we say? We'd say, what are they doing? Because more than one, right? Good. Okay. So now you know this. Good. You understand. Let's go back to here. And I've now scaffolded you into doing the activity at the bottom of the page here. Okay. What are they doing? They're jumping, add the ing, rope. Okay. Yeah. So we're going to keep it very simple. We're not going to say, Hong has said, what game is he playing? But maybe that's a little confusing because is flying a kite a game? Maybe not, right? So we try and keep it simple. So it's a general phrase they can use a lot, right? Okay. So the phrase we're going to use down here, what are they doing? They're jumping rope. Okay. And then what I can do again is I can get my students to do this point and say activity, and they can do it in pairs and I can monitor and assist. Okay. So over all of this, are the students getting a lot of practice with the vocab? Are the students getting a lot of practice? Yes, they are, right? And what we're doing is this grammar structure, they kind of know it already. Okay, so we're using some old grammar with the new vocabulary, and that will help them learn it fairly effectively. Okay, good. Okay, so does anyone have a question about what we just did here? You feel okay? Or in the chat box, give us another idea of what you might do for this kind of teaching them the vocab using the old grammar structure. What else might you do if you were teaching this? I'll give you 30 seconds or so. Do you do anything different than that, or do you do a lot of those same things? Mainly the same thing, September. Good. Yep. Act and tell the activity. Good. Yeah, we could play charades, right? Or mime. Good. Yeah. So we can definitely do that kind of activity. Yeah. Usually present the pattern first, September. Okay, that's interesting. So maybe you present the grammar to give them the spaces they need to use the vocabulary. You can do that too. Yeah. That's a good idea. Nice. Okay, good. So different ideas, right? Now, there's one other thing we should definitely do here, and I'm going to do that in the workbook. Okay, so if I go to the workbook just by clicking here, it will take me to the workbook page, and I've got a little bit of white space here. So we've got these things you can do. I'm sorry if you can hear a dog in the background. I can't do anything about the dog. Don't worry about her. We've got these things, but do you do these things or do you do other things? So me, or when I'm outside, I don't, oh, I'll use the text tool because it will type nicer than I write. Okay. When I go outside, I can play a game called tennis. Okay. I play tennis. What about you? What do you do outside? Yeah, using realia is really good as well, Hong. That's a really good idea too, because it's making it more authentic, right? And that's the whole point. And this is too, we're wanting to let the students have their own words and their own ideas in the lesson that we're learning, right? So play tennis. What about you? What do you do? Remember, we're doing outside today. We're not talking about drawing and playing games on an iPad or something, right? We want to talk about outside things today. So what things do you do? Like play tennis is another example. Hike. I like hike. That's a good one. What else? Walk. Good. Go for a walk, right? I go walking. Oh, play volleyball. Good. Good. Oh, hang on. I need to add a line break in there. Oh, you plant trees. I like that. Maybe you work in the garden. Maybe you do that outside. Yeah. You could do lots of things. Yeah, gardening, right? Play tag. I like that. Play tag. Good. Water the plants. Nice. Ride a motorcycle. You are 7. Are you riding a motorcycle? Maybe you're doing it with your mom or your dad. Okay. Skateboard. We've already got skateboard. We've got ride a bike. Very good. Okay. Very good. But then I want to always have this list of words. I put it on my board, right? And then the students have this list to refer to later when we do some writing, which is something we're going to do today. Wash the dishes, Hong. Do you wash the dishes outside? Maybe you do. That's cool, right? Nice. Play with dolls. You might do that outside too. Very good. Okay, so we've got our list of things. We will use this later, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy that list. Let's see if I can copy it onto my whiteboard here. So if I go over to my whiteboard, can I copy? There we go. I've pasted our list because we will use this later, okay? Very good. Okay, so let me, you won't see what I've just done. I've just pasted it onto the whiteboard for later on. So I want to go back to there and I need I'm tangled up with my screens. Where am I? Here I am. Okay, good. Student book. We're going to go back to the student book. Okay, now after we do this, we want to look at a song. I'm not actually going to do the song today. I'm just picking certain pieces of this unit. But look at the picture. What is the boy doing? What's he doing? What is he doing? He's Another chance to practice. He's playing basketball. Very good. Okay. Now, there is a word here, a word that we can see many, 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 many times in this song. Can you read it? The word I want you to find is like. Like, right? Can you write one of the sentences that has like in it? Can you write a sentence that has like? And my students, I would just tell them underline or point with their finger, right? Good. I like to ride a bike. I like to play games. Do you like to play? Very good. Now, there are some words that go together here. One of them is like to. Like to. Okay. So I like to fly a kite. I like to play outside. What do you like to do? Okay, so those two words go together and we need that, right? We're going to use that today. Good. You like to play golf, man. Very cool, Mia. I'm sorry. Very good. I like to play golf too. That's very cool. So now we're going to go to the grammar, and you can see the grammar has like. So there's lots of stuff here. Let's go to our whiteboard first, and we will talk about it before we do it. Okay. So down here, what does this one say? It says, I like to play basketball. Okay, and we can say other things too, like these ones. I just put these ones here, right? I like to play tennis. I like to hike. I like to walk. I like to plant trees. Okay, Cool. But there's a question here as well. There's a question kind of hiding under here, right? Does anyone know the question? Can you guess what the question is? Yeah, good, very nice. So some of you might know it, and that's cool. What do you like to do? Okay, now if you don't know this question, let me teach it. And again, when I teach common ones like this, and I want my students to practice and make sure they've got all the words that are in the sentence, right? Then I will often use actions and rhythm with this one as well. So I will do something like, what do you like to do? Okay, and I will chant it with my students to get them to make sure they've got all those words, and the rhythm helps them with that, right? So, what do you like to do? What do you like to do, right? And we get practicing the question, okay? And then I will say, maybe students practice the question and I will give you the answer. And then I will ask the question and you can give me the answer about you. What do you like to do? I like to plant trees. I like to water the plants, right? Or whatever it might be. And then we would go through and we would look at other forms, right? So slowly we build this up. We don't throw it all on the students all at once. We want to do it a little piece at a time, right? They, how many students is that? Or how many people? It's 2, right? And we have to change the question. What do they like to do? Not you. What do they like to do? Okay. Or maybe we can ask, what, there's also a grammar structure. What does he or what does she like to do? Right. And then it's got the verb s, likes to. We'll come to that in a minute, right? Okay. And then there's also, do you like to play baseball? Or do you like to hike? Do you like to play volleyball, whatever it might be. And we can say yes or no. Okay, good. And then we're going to show them kind of a grammar chart so they can put the pieces together. Now here in the grammar chart, you can see there is the other thing that we need to teach our students, right? Which is the do does, right? So we will have seen this somewhere else as well, do does, but we need to make sure they understand when we use different words with do and does, for example. Okay. And also things like she likes, he likes, and so on, right? So all of this is your grammar teaching. We're going to have to go over this and make sure the students, have got a lot of a lot of familiarity with the grammar structure, right? Even if they don't understand why, at least they can follow the patterns. Now, in the book, this little picture, just so you know, if I go back to the book, if I jump back to here. So here, when I'm teaching the grammar, I have this. If I'm looking in the workbook or the grammar workbook, then it actually has that little diagram at the top of the page here, right? And so I can use this to help my students follow along and to understand. They've got this as a reference, okay? And I might get them to add in the words like he or they into this, okay? And we can do a little activity like this just to get them more familiar. What do they like to do? What goes here? Like to do, right? Okay, this one down here, what do they like? What goes next? To do, okay? And if we need to, we can use the what do you like to do to, remind the students of the pattern, or they can just look at the box, right? And then we can get them to do some things based on the pictures. So number 2, they like to play soccer, for example. Okay, so we're just building up the grammar knowledge of the students and making sure they're very familiar with it. Now, in the chat box, I've given you a couple of things. I would get my students to do a lot of peer work and they would do these little activities. But when you're teaching grammar with your students, when you're going over these kinds of ideas, what else would you do to teach grammar with your students? What other activities do you do with them? Right? What activities do you do? You can see on the second page here, there's an activity here. It says, work in groups of 3, talk about what you like to do, and then later we'll tell the class, okay? So Hong does role play. That's cool, right? One thing with role play is I often like to make sure that it's really what the students would do. Make it authentic, right? Make it about what the students would really do. Don't make stuff up. So don't say, I ride a motorbike, right? I like to ride motorbikes, because they won't do that. If that's ride motorbikes with my dad or with my mom, that's fine, right? But not just by themselves, right? Matching games, yep, September can do a lot of those sorts of things, right? Bingo game, yep, that's a good one as well. A memory game, Brian, yeah. I like that, right? But again, the more you can, charades, good. I like that one, Maricel, right? But the more you can get into the things like, what do you like to do? Or what does he like to do? What does she like to do? Talking about yourself or other people and making it really authentic. That's a really, really good way to do it, okay? Because then the students have something to say, right? And they want to talk about it. Okay, good. So now once we've practiced this, right? Oh, Ely's got a good one here. I make them go around and ask their questions and do Jankin afterwards. Good. They only get the points when they win. Now, Ely, can you explain Jankin? Just in case other people don't know what that is. In the chat box, can you explain Jankin? Right? Just in case others don't understand. I'll move on, but Ellie will tell us what Jankin is in the chat box. Okay, thank you, Ellie. Okay, so after this, we're going to go through and teach the students a bit more vocab, a bit more grammar, make sure they've got this kind of thing, okay? So Ellie's basically saying it's Japanese name for rock, paper, scissors, right? Okay, so if they win this paper, scissors, stone, they get points, okay? I can do it with my students sometimes as well, where there's another game called Shooting Fingers, which is like that as well, and however many kind of the fingers add up to, you get points. There's a lot of different games like this, right? You can roll a dice and get points that way, lots of different things, right? Good. Okay. So after we've done vocab, after we've done grammar, then in the book there is a reading. Now, I'm not going to do the reading today. I'm going to skip over it. But even in here, just looking at the picture, we could talk about what do they like to do? But also, where are they? Where are these students? Where are they? Yeah, they're at a park or maybe a playground. I think this one is a playground. Yeah, it says a playground at the top here, right? They're going outside and doing things at playgrounds, right? And this is a very special one. And it's asking you here, what can you do at a playground? But also, what do you like to do? Because maybe I can rollerblade, but I don't like rollerblading at the playground. Maybe I like to do something else, right? Okay. Good, yeah, okay. So there could be jumping, there could be diving, there could be playing with friends, could be lots of things, right? Yeah, okay. And again, if I share back here for a moment, remember, we can keep adding to our list here, right? We've got this list. I'm just going to drag the list down a bit more. But this list, we can keep building this list and putting it on the board of all the things the students do. Okay, and this is a good list to have for what we're going to do next. Okay, so let me jump back, go back to here again. Okay, and now we're going to go on and we're going to look at this piece of writing here. Okay, so here we've got an example of what we're going to write. So at home, I like to skateboard. At school, I like to play hide and seek. It's fun. On Saturday, I like to play basketball with my friends. Okay. I have a question for you. There are 3 things he likes to do. What does he like to do? Can you tell me? What does he like to do? Remember, he likes to what? He likes to. Can you tell me? Tell me one. Typing 3 takes longer. What does he likes to do? Very good, September. He likes to skateboard. He likes to play hide and seek. He likes to play basketball. Good, right? Very nice, good. And so everybody's saying, everybody's practicing, and if somebody's not quite right, we can correct it. We can just model the right sentence for them, okay? But now, where does he do it? Where does he do these things? Where does he like to do these things? So at home, at school, where else could it be? Maybe at the park? Could we do at the park? Yeah. Where else could we do? In my bedroom? No, not in my bedroom, because today we are outside. We're not in my bedroom today. Okay, right. What else? Okay. Could be sleep. No, we're sleeping, maybe outside under a tree. Okay, that's acceptable, but not inside in your bed. Okay, right. Okay, at the playground. Good. At the playground. I like that one. Good. Yeah, you want to have a bit of fun with the students. At the courts, good. And so there's these different places where the students might not know the English word. And so you can help them. Maybe they draw you the picture and you teach them the English word. And as soon as they know that word, now they can use it, right? Yeah, good. Okay. And also he says here, I like to play basketball with my friends. Ah, that's people. Who do you like to do these things with? Who? So my friends, my mom, my dad, my brother, my sister, my classmates. And again, we can have some different words, right? Okay, so there is a writing activity. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you this. This is one way to do it, and the teacher's book has one way. I'm going to show you a little different way, and you can tell me what you think. We can talk about this as we go. Okay, so this will take about 10 minutes to go through the whole thing. Okay, so first I'm going to go over to my whiteboard. Okay, and we've got our grammar structure and we've got our list of things here. Okay, so I'm just going to go down a little bit here, and it says down here, make a list or make two lists. What do you like to do? Okay, I like to, and so I want you to write some things in here. So I'm going to say, I like to play tennis. Okay, I like to, maybe what else do I like to do? I like to watch. I live on an island, so I like to watch the boats, maybe. Okay, or watch the fishermen. Okay, very good. Okay, yeah, not on the street. Yeah, don't do it on the street. Very good. I like to watch movies. Good. Okay, now that's outside your house, but it's still kind of inside. So maybe for my students, I might say for this one, maybe, but maybe this one. Can we think of something outside? Okay, Hong, too young to play tennis. I was playing tennis when I was 7. Yeah, I learned quite young to play tennis. I wasn't very good, but we learned, right? Okay, Helen, good suggestions, good grammar, but those are inside. What about outside? Remember, we want to do things outside today, okay? Very good. And so we can go through and do things. Now, I don't like to, for me, I don't like to rollerblade because I might fall over and hurt myself, right? Okay. I do like to plant trees. I like that one. Okay. I don't like to, what don't I like to do? I don't like to play tag. Okay, and the reason is because I always lose, right? I don't like to bungee jump. September, I like that one. Good. I don't like to watch horror movies. Good. I don't like to play indoors. Whatever. Okay, good. So we've got a bunch of things the students could say. Now, I want to expand that. Okay, so now that we've got some things, I want to expand it. So we've got I like to. Okay, so I'll give you an example. I will put in here, I like to, I'm going to use my one up there of plant trees, just because it's a nice one, right? I like to plant trees. Okay, and if you think I don't do that every day, then that's okay, right? Or maybe it's work in the garden or whatever, okay? Play hide and seek, whatever it might be, okay? But then over here, I'm going to add something. What day? When do I do that? So I'm going to say, I can't do that on a school day, right? So I'm going to say on Sunday, comma, I like to plant trees. Okay. What other days could we have? We could have Monday, we could have Friday, we could have all the days, right? So we can put in different days there. Okay. And then over here, we're going to put in, where do I do that? Okay. So I like to plant trees at the park, or maybe in the garden. Okay, and so all I'm doing here is I'm giving my students more to their sentence by adding on these other elements, right? Okay, very good. Yeah, Ellie, we'll talk about that in a minute. Some of them just like to play video games, right? True, but as you challenge the students and you get them to talk about this a little bit, we'll talk about maybe some options, right? We'll come back to that in a minute, but it's a good point, Ellie. We'll talk about that in a second. Okay, good. Okay, now, so now what I have is now you can write like this one. See, he says at home. That's where I like to skateboard. But we said where is at the back, right? Well, actually, we can write it more ways. So we can write it at home, I like to, or I like to at home. We can do it both ways, right? And also this one, on Saturday, I like to play basketball with my friends. We can put the time, the day at the front on Saturday, or we can put it at the back. I like to blah, blah, blah on Saturday. You can choose, right? And then also we can put a big sentence with the people at the end, right? Okay, so I'm just going to erase these two, and I'm going to use the big sentence at the end here. Whoops. Sorry. I hit the wrong button. My video disappeared. So maybe I say on Sunday, comma, I like to plant trees at the park with, I need to move this chat box out the road, with my dad. There we go. Okay, now I've got a nice long sentence. It's got lots of information. And so this is introducing the ideas to this idea to the students that you can put more information into a sentence. And I'm giving them some sentence frames to do that. Okay, and I will tell my students, right, you can use any of these with your ideas from here to write longer sentences. So September, if you want them to write longer sentences, give them these language frames like this. Give them the structure where they just fill in the gaps. Okay, and then they will write better sentences, and you can build it up over time, right? Okay, now, once I've done this, next thing we're going to do is I'm going to get you to write like my students. Now, I would, obviously, normally we do this in a workbook, okay, or a textbook or something, okay? I'm going to do it using Padlet today, okay? So I'm going to jump back to here, back to the internet, right? And I'm going to go to this Padlet page that I've set up, okay? So we can do this all together, and I'm going to drop this into the chat box so you can join the Padlet too, but watch what I do first. Watch what I do first, okay? Okay, so what I would do is up here, I would give an example to my students of what I want to do. So I'm going to say, on Friday, I like to play tag with my friends, okay? Then I'm going to write another sentence. On Sunday, I like to plant trees in the park with my dad. Okay, and then maybe one more. I don't like to go to school on Monday or whatever, right? Okay, so I'm giving my students an example of what they can do. Okay, and now that's here in Padlet. But also, I will give my students, usually I put this on the whiteboard, I will give them a model frame of what to do. So I will say on day, I like to blah, 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 blah with blah, 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 blah. Okay. I like to blah, 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 blah at place. Okay. On day, I like to blah, 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 blah at blah, 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 blah with blah, 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 blah. Right. And I'm giving my students this frame that they can use. And then I put in some blank lines. And what I do there is I say, you can keep writing more sentences. Every sentence you give me, I will give you one more point, one more stamp, one more sticker, whatever the reward is in my class. Okay, so I would do that with this one. I like to, we're just following the structure, and they can just write as many sentences as they want, right? Okay, now, Elaine has a good question. Could you tell us how you would deal with students who question the difference doing versus to do? Okay, now the students at this level are probably just going to accept what you say. Okay, while we're talking about this, if other people, you want to add your own little one to the Padlet here, just go ahead, feel free, right? So what I wouldn't worry about explaining why it's different. I would say both are okay. Both are okay. You just have to say, what's the difference? Do you say, I like to playing tag with my friends? Is that good? No, it's not, right? I like playing, or I like to play, right? Okay, so you just got to make sure you say it the right way, okay? And that way you give them the two options and they can say it which way they like, okay? Now, obviously there is a difference, right, in the meaning of those two sentences. The first one, I like playing tag with my friends, is a simple present tense statement that is always true. Okay. The second one is what I like to do maybe now or today, right? Or I like to play tag with my friends on Friday. So if you start putting in more details, then you narrow it down from an always true to in this situation. So there is a difference, but I'm not going to worry about that at this A1 level, right? With these students, I'm not going to worry about that detail. Right? Just say, there's a couple of ways you can say it. You can do it that way. You can do it that way. It's both good. Go. Right? And over time, we will get into the details of those differences. Okay. But in the beginning, don't complicate it too much for your students. Okay. Hope that makes sense. Okay. So I can see some people have put some things in here. On Wednesday, I like to play tennis with my son. Very good. On Sunday, I like this one. Good. Okay. We've got some more coming in. Okay. So as people write things in here, let's see, there's some hidden underneath. On Wednesday, I like to watch the webinar with my course mates at the English Center. I think that might be Zibaniso, is it? Right? I know you have watch parties, Zibaniso. Okay, very good. So my students will be putting some of these things up, right? And they will be typing or writing, if we're doing this just on paper, we're writing these things in, okay? Now, what I would do with my students, I'm going to I'm going to use two of these. I'm going to screenshot these actually. And I will show you what I do next, because after the students have written, we're not finished. There's still at least 3 things we have to do. Okay, so let me show you what I would do. I'm going to take this, put it into my whiteboard, and I'm going to show you what I would do next. Okay, so let me share my whiteboard. Here we go. Okay, so now it's in my whiteboard. What I'm going to do is I'm going to look at these, and these ones, generally speaking, they're good. We're not going to worry about mistakes and things here too much. But what I would say is I would go through and I would say, okay, good. What about this one? Okay, this one's good. I like this one. Cool. Okay, right? Or maybe I have a student who says something like this. Okay, my student does that, right? Then in this one, I will maybe circle here and circle here, things like this. What am I doing when I'm circling here? What am I doing? Can anyone see what I'm doing? Yeah, giving feedback. I'm indicating where there is a mistake. I'm not actually correcting the errors. I'm showing the students where there is an error. Now, what I tell my students next, and you have to coach them through this process, right? It takes a little bit of time, but they get used to it, right? Is that there's something wrong, okay? That's okay, right? What you can do is either you can fix it, you can go and look up how to make it right. You can ask your friends, you can look at your friends' examples, right? You can look in your student book and you can see how do you make it good. And when you think it's good, you come back and I'll look. And if it's good, I'll give you a smiley face or I'll give you a tick. Okay. And if not, I'll just put another circle and you can figure out where it is. Now, when I do this, for each one that my students fix, I actually give them points as well. I encourage them positively to fix their errors. And if they don't make errors, great, you get the points anyway, right? So at the end of the day, everybody's getting the points for doing the work and making sure they've got something good. Okay, but it's not on me to fix the mistakes. I'm asking my students to learn how to fix the mistakes once they know where they are. Okay, do you feel like that's a decent method of doing it? Yeah, it takes a little bit of work off me, which is not the objective. The objective is that the students learn more effectively, right? And I find this to be a much better learning experience. It is a little bit more class time to do it, but I find it more educational if we do it this way. Okay, now the last thing I would do after students have written and after they've got something good, let me just refresh Padlet here. We've got a couple more, right? Okay. So once we've got these, what I would do with my students is I'll just delete this one because this is my model, right? Is I would say, okay, what you're going to do now is you're going to go around and read all of the writing. Put your paper on your desk, go around and read. And then when you find one you like, put a heart or a star on it. I give my students stickers usually, right? Or write your name on it, okay? So you can do that right now. Find the ones you like and maybe you get 3 chances and you can put some appreciation on the writing. How do you think students feel when they know that their writing is read and that someone liked it? How do you think they would feel? They would feel happy. Do you think they're more likely to write next time? Yeah, you put a smiley, right? They're encouraged. Yeah. So that's what I find too, is the more appreciation we give the students, the more they are likely to write. When they know that their writing is read, then they do more. Now, there are many other ways to give writing to people so that it is read. What else could you do? The other thing I do as well is if some aren't getting any love, then I make sure that everybody gets at least 1 heart, at least 1 star. I make sure to give those points. Yeah, tell them that their writing is beautiful, right? Tell them that I like their writing, right? What other ways can you share the writing? I said, put it on the table and walk around and read. What are some other ways you can share the writing? Just 1 minute. What are some other ways you might do that? I know sometimes people say we get the students to stand at the front of the class and read it, but that's not writing, right? That's not reading. That's speaking and listening, okay? So I don't suggest doing that, to be honest. I suggest actually reading the writing. Yeah, you can make it a sample in class, right? And other students can learn from it, right? Definitely. Cool. What else could you do? Yeah, put their notebooks out, show their notebooks. Maybe you can even take copies of it, right? And maybe put it together in like a little booklet or make a digital newsletter like this, right? Things like this that can let the students or give it to the parents as well so that people can appreciate what's being written, right? Yeah, print it out and post it around the classroom like posters. Ellie, I love that, right? You could even do that in the hallway of the school or give it to the classroom next door and you get their one, right? And we can share writing that way as well. Yeah, use Zalo groups, WhatsApp, whatever, put it on the web. Make little groups and students can share writing that way. Lots and lots of things you can do. But the idea is share the writing and let other people read it, okay? It encourages students to do it. Yeah, gallery walks as well. That's a good one, okay? Good. So that's most of what I wanted to do today. There is a couple of other things I wanted to do though as well. And let me go through those quickly because at the end of the lesson, after we've gone through all of this, I probably want to review some things with my students, right? And I probably want to give them some homework, right? Do you like grading homework? I don't really like grading homework, so I'm lazy. So what I can do is using the Spark platform, which is this place where I've been using the classroom presentation tool from, I can create an assignment for my students, right? So I've already made some assignments here. You can see some for different programs. Making assignments here is quite easy. I will make one right now so you can see how fast it is. So I just make a new assignment. Okay, I'm just going to call it Our World 2, Unit 3. Okay, let's call this one Writing. Okay, I make some dates here. Okay, go continue. I'm going to add some material from my Our World course, my Our World 2 course. Here we go. And I'm going to choose some activities. Now, I want some writing from Unit 3. So I go to Unit 3. I'm going to go to Writing. And when I go in here, I can see there's a couple of activities, right? I want to check the activities here. So let me preview and see what this activity is. Okay, so this one is just drag into the spaces, right? That's okay. We could do that one. So I can say, yeah, let's tick that one. I'll include that one. What's this one here? This one here. Oh, they're typing. Okay, that's cool. Let's do that one as well. And maybe I'm going to include some grammar or some other things as well. Okay, then I just go continue. Okay, I decide how many attempts my students can have to get it right. I can let them see when they can see the answers. And then I choose which students are going to get this assignment. I can say just some of them, or I can say all of them. These are all fake students I have in a class. Okay, good. So once I've done that and I assign it, and there we go. Now my students have some homework. Then once they've done that homework, I'll just go continue here. Sorry. I've got too many Zoom windows in the road. Okay. Then what I can do then is if I look in my course here, I can see what their grades are once they've done that. So if I go, actually, let me go to dashboard because that's faster. I'll go to Our World 2. This is the course, okay? and I've got my fake students set up in here. They're not real students, they're fake, right? Okay, so here's my students, and I can see their grades for the different work they've done. Okay, so I can see, well, let's take a look at, I actually gave an assignment to these students for Unit 3 already. Let's see how they did. Why? Oh, I can see some of them haven't done it yet. Some of them have done it. Di has done it, but she didn't get everything right. Let's take a look. These are set up home. These are already here for you to use, right? You don't have to do anything to make this. It's just you can use these resources with, say, the Our World program, or if you've got one of our other programs, this is already here. So I can see here she only got 77%. Let's see what happened. Okay, she got a couple of questions wrong. What happened with this one here? I can see what she answered. Oh, okay, so she's put the wrong word into the space here. Do you play to play outside? Okay, that should be like, right? So maybe I need to review some grammar with her so she understands that more clearly. And for each of my students, if I needed to, I could go through and see that. I can see how their grades are looking. I can understand how they're doing, right? I can see it by the class to see how the class is doing. I can see it by the student, and I can just generally get an idea of how my students are doing. But all of this is, generally speaking, graded automatically. I just make the assignment using the questions that are already there. Okay, give it to my students. They can do it at home on the phone or the tablet, and then afterwards I can see all the grades right here. Okay, cool. Okay, now if you want to try this yourself, let me share with you a couple of places you can do that. I've got 3 things to share with you, and then we'll wrap it up for today. So I'm going to go back to the PowerPoint for a second. I'm going to go back to here. Okay, so all of these things I've shown you are part of the Our World program. Okay, you've got the classroom presentation tool. So when I was doing most of the lesson, that was, you know, the videos and the audio files and the pictures and everything, that's all in this classroom presentation tool. Okay, good. There's also the assignments, the tests, and the gradebook. They're all there as well. I just showed you those really quickly. Okay, so if your students are doing like this digital homework at home, little simple activities so that they can get it done quick, go outside and play, right? But also it's easy for you to see all the results. That's really good as well. Okay, now there's one other one here called dynamic lessons. Now this doesn't yet work for Our World. We are adding it very soon, but I'll show it to you now. I'll show it to you with another program. So if I go to here, when you go into one of our programs for the first time, usually you will see this view here from this thing called class content. Okay, and in class content, give it a second. Here I've got a classroom presentation tool. This is what I was using today for Our World. You've also got your teacher resources like your assessments, your answer keys, your lesson resources, teacher's book, worksheets, all of those things are there. Okay, you can use all of those. And then in some programs, there is this thing called dynamic lessons, right? This is just another way to present material. Maybe some of you are very used to using PowerPoint or slides. This is a very slide-based way to deliver a lesson, okay? So rather than doing it the way I did it today, you could also do it this way, okay? You could kind of be one slide at a time. It's still interactive. It still has the audio and video and things built in, right? And you can go through these activities and do it this way as well. It has the little tool boxes here, you know, it's got your timers and things. All of these tools are here as well, so that you can do these things. You can go through the different activities and do them interactively on the screen with the students. All of that is there, right? But this is just another way to present the lesson. Now, if you want to go and explore these, okay, here's how you do it, right? One is, for each of our programs, there is a product page. Now, this is the product I was using today. It's called Our World, okay? Down here, there is request a sample, okay? And if you do that, it will take you to this page. And on this page here, okay, you can fill in the details and you can choose any of our programs, and you can get a sample of the tools I use today, so you can go away and explore them by yourself. Okay, and you can try them out and see what you think. Okay, now if you want to see Our World, you just go down to Our World, right? And you look at what we were doing. If you want to see that slide-based one, it's in this program called Voices. It's an adult program. It's not in the other ones yet, but it will be very soon. Okay, so you could check that one out in Voices. Okay. Good. And the last thing I want to share with you is, if you want to join us for other webinars, here's our list of webinars, okay, and where you can go to see some of our other webinars. We've got some other webinars coming up from some of our other authors and things. Excuse me, I've got it down here. Some of our other authors and people are doing webinars over the next few weeks. They are not doing model lessons. They're going over a little bit more academic teaching ideas, or why are the books this way, how to best use this section, things like that. So you can try those ones out as well and see what you think. Okay, very good. So on that note, does anyone have any questions? Any questions that I can answer? I think I've tried to answer some in the chat box as we've gone. So just to go back to Hong's question about the assignments, all of those questions, Hong, all of those images and activities, they were already set up, and I just have to choose the ones I want. Makes it very easy to use. Okay. So again, go and find one for yourself. Go to that trial page, right? And you can go and look for it yourself and play around with it and see what you think. Okay. Any other questions? And I hope you've got some ideas now, maybe about some from others today here as well, about different ways to introduce vocab or practice vocab, to do the grammar, to set up and do the writing activities. Padlet, yeah, Padlet is a free source, right? It's just padlet.com. I'll just put the link in the chat box. It's a free tool. There are many tools like it. I just use Padlet because I've used it quite a bit. But we've got nothing to do with it at National Geographic Learning. It's a completely separate tool, but it is a good free tool. Yeah. Okay. Very good. Okay. Well, thank you, everybody. Yeah, do come along and check out some of the other webinars. Mark, how about the certificate of the last webinar? If you didn't get it, just send me an email. Okay, you've got my email from the emails to do with this webinar. Send me an email and I will get you the certificate, Mark. Okay. Very good. Okay, well, thank you, everybody. Have a good day. Keep up with us on Facebook or WeChat if you're in China or other places. We are interested in keeping in touch with you and letting you know when we're doing other things. But apart from that, thank you, everyone. Have a good day, and we'll see you again real soon. Okay, thanks, everyone.